Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for another episode of Fuck, Marry,
Hey everybody, welcome to the Fuck, Marry, Kill podcast. I'm your host, Britt.
And I'm your host, Davica.
Cheers, Davica.
Cheers.
What you drinking today?
Portuguese white wine.
Lovely.
Name forgotten. But I have something special for today's episode.
Tell me.
Port.
Oh, okay.
Portuguese port. So
What was that? So Davica is in Portugal right now. I'm still in the States. So this is our first episode totally separated, not in the same studio.
Yeah. I know. That's right.
Yeah.
And halfway across the world.
Halfway across the world. Davica's in a much more fun spot than me, I promise you.
I mean, LaPorte, Indiana is pretty awesome. Remember there was that serial killer?
There was that serial killer from episode 1. Yeah. I am still in my hometown because I keep getting called for jobs in Chicago. I'm a director and it's all freelance. So I just never know when my next job is going to come. And I've been here for a very long time and I want to go home.
But busy's good.
Busy's
good. And, you know, quality time with your nephews.
Yeah.
But I know you miss your puppy.
I do. Yeah. Pearl. I have a little wiener dog named Pearl and my mom has been taking care of her for so long and I feel bad. She's easy to take care of, but this is my baby.
I know.
Is Cannoli in the studio with you?
She is. Yeah. She's over there in her bed. She was over on my lap earlier, but now she's she's going to sleep until
Davica has a Pomeranian named Cannoli, who I hope we see at some point during this episode, but
yeah, she might. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was trying to convince my husband, Alex, to get another dog. And I really want to name that dog Panna Cotta. Pan for short. So Cannoli and Panna Cotta. I know.
Oh, God. That'd be so cute.
I know. What kind of wine are you drinking?
Sorry.
Go ahead. No. Sorry.
This is from a winery that I used to belong to, like in their club or whatever in Napa when I lived in Napa. I did the show 13 Reasons Why, so I had to live in Napa for a little bit. And it is
Remember, we celebrated your birthday in San Francisco together that year.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Feels like forever ago. I did seasons 3 and 4 of 13 Reasons Why. So
that's right.
Yeah, Davica came out. We met in San Francisco, and it was a blurry night.
I was living in the Mission at the time.
Yes.
Remember? Yeah, and it was so perfect.
Yeah.
You were living more out of the city, right? Because they were filming.
No, I wasn't even in the city. I was in Napa. I was probably 45 minutes away from San Francisco.
Yeah. Different experience, I bet.
It is. But the wine I'm drinking today is a little bit desserty. It's a Riesling. It's pretty sweet. That's why I have a smaller glass this episode.
Did you have a lot of wine when you were out there? Because I love Napa.
Is that a real question? Yes. God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Touche. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. I kept getting, so I didn't really know anybody in Napa except for the crew that I was working with. And, Napa's kind of like living in the country. There's not a whole lot to do because it's focused around wine tasting for obvious reasons. Yeah. So we would go on the weekends out together and we would go wine tasting. And I would get so day drunk. Like I'm a happy drunk. I get in a good mood when I'm drinking. Some people get in bad moods. But so the people at the winery would come up to me and be like, would you like to join our winery? You get this discount. You get these wines. And I would always be like,
I'll join
yes, I do. Great idea. I will join. And so cut to later, I moved back to Chicago and I just have all these like wine shipments coming that I didn't even know about. I don't remember. And I'm like, what did I do? It's not bad, but I'm like,
it's not bad.
Hundreds of dollars.
I've only been to Napa once and I signed up for 2 clubs. Yeah. One trip.
They get you when you're happy drunk.
Oh, totally. They know when to swoop in.
Yeah. That's probably a good marketing idea for other brands.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Just have some wine. Yeah. Here, have some wine.
Yeah. So I'm in a good mood. I just shot some spec commercials. Spec commercials are commercials you write for real brands, but they're to show off your directing abilities.
Yeah.
So I shot 3 in one day, which is crazy. And my producer that I had hired, she's a friend. She ghosted me. So we had planned all this stuff, and I had to end up producing it and directing it.
That's so rough.
Yeah, it was a lot. But I feel extra accomplished now because now I know I can produce.
You can do it. Yeah.
This is my first day off, so the wine is like
perfect.
Good stuff.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad to hear that. Man, yeah, you've been busy. You've been really, really busy.
Yeah, and it came out of nowhere too, because like all winter it was kind of slow for work for me. And then all of a sudden I was like, let's do this podcast. And then I just got stupidly busy. Slammed. It was unreal.
Yeah.
But
when it rains, it pours.
Yeah. Not complaining, but woo. There's a lot. Yeah. What have you been up to?
Well, this week was a little weird. So I had been feeling really out of it and tired for the first like day and a half of this week.
Okay.
And so I have a doctor's appointment on Friday. But I am finding out, and it's good that I have this doctor's appointment on Friday just because I need to like do my annual and everything. But a lot of my friends here have also been feeling similarly, and we've all like tested for COVID and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And they think it might be like really bad allergies here. I guess like pollen is super high, and I guess it can get you really tired. I don't know. This whole allergy thing is new. I never used to have allergies. I'm convinced that it's like the food in Europe is too healthy, and like the American
what a problem.
The American preservatives were just like preserving the insides of me or something, and I don't know.
Jeez,
but yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that.
But one of my friends suggested it might have just been like getting older, because you can get more allergies as you get older, but allergies can also go away. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's just different stuff growing there than you're used to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but outside of that, just outside of podcasting, been writing a lot.
Cool.
And then just winding down Quirk, and that's about it.
Nice. What are you writing anything in particular right now?
Yeah. So I always write like personal essays and post for like Medium, just like keep me on it so that I continue to do it. So it's like small wins. I need that. Like
if you
sort
stop
of
writing,
the
it's
dopamine
extra hard to go back to it. So that's cool.
To go back to routine. So I need something to get me going. And then I'm working on a middle grade book.
Okay.
So like a kid's book, middle grade quest story. So, but to be honest, I feel like sometimes that does take the back seat for some of the other stuff, but that's just because when I feel stuck, and then I'll go back to it when I don't. So I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring out how to get that like momentum going.
I hate to break it to you, but I think everyone in this world is still figuring it out.
Yeah.
We're trying.
I'm in good company.
Yeah, you are.
That's what's great.
You are.
Everybody's good company.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I hope you feel
I'm
better.
celebrating Easter. I'm celebrating Easter next week, this coming weekend.
Oh, okay.
Because two of our closest friends here are from Greece, and the Greek Orthodox Easter is this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we're doing a big barbecue over at their house on Sunday. And
they live in Portugal, or they're visiting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. No, they live in Portugal.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
How about you? Did you have a good Easter?
Yes. So I'm, because as I said, I'm still in my hometown. I'm with my nephews. They're 5 and 4. And so this was the first year. I don't have kids yet. So this was the first year that I got to play the Easter Bunny. Because my sister was like, if you want to do it, please do it. I'll just sleep.
Did you dress up? No,
up? God, no.
Oh my gosh. I had this image of you in like a bunny outfit.
It'd be like a hot bunny outfit.
Which would have been amazing.
Not for the kids.
Yeah. Different kind of party. Different kind of party.
It was just so fun because like I made, I hope no little kids would listen to this, but I did little.
I would hope not. Yeah.
Bunny tracks on the ground where they hide the eggs. So I mixed.
Oh, that's really
this is a good trick.
Sweet.
I mixed flour with a little bit of water, so it was like a paste, and you can just put fingerprints and make little paw prints. For the bunny.
A great idea.
And
I love
made
that.
those lead to their baskets, and then they had to find all the eggs, and they had like 11 to find each, and they were over it after like 5 each.
Seriously.
So I was
Who
like,
got sick of it
for the
first?
eggs, even though I hid them.
Yeah.
They have short attention spans.
Kids.
Yeah.
Kids.
But it was so good.
What are they? They're 4 and 5, right? Yeah. So that's
But they're so cute. It's so cute just seeing them like squeal seeing the Easter bunny's footprints and stuff. So
yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I still think you should. I think you should obviously everybody should have a sexy Easter bunny costume in their closet, obviously. But I think you should get like a onesie, like the Easter bunny onesie. I think that would be so cute.
Yeah.
And like they would be floored.
I know. I feel like they would
look
know
really
my
excited
voice,
about.
though.
Yeah, don't.
Like,
I mean, they know.
Yeah.
I feel like kids know like who it is, right?
Yeah.
No, normally, but they like the thrill of it still.
I actually think they're still young enough that they're like, they don't
like. Could it be?
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
We did, and we actually went to a really cute farm where they let you like pet the goats and stuff and the sheep.
Love that.
And the Easter Bunny was also there in costume, and they were excited to see him.
Yeah.
And then as we were packing back in the van, I was with my sister. As we were packing back in the van, he just took his head off in the parking lot. I was like, no. wait.
Started smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. Those off-duty bunnies are questionable.
It's just like all the off-duty Santas in movies and TV shows. They're always the best.
Yeah.
They're like the most miserable people. I love
my gosh. Speaking of Napa, this old man, that's mean to say, this older man spotted my mom and I when my mom was visiting me in Napa. We were at a like winery bar type place, and he started hitting on my mom and thought it would be like a good thing to tell her that he was Santa Claus on a regular basis in Tiananmen Square. Like he's always the Santa there. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. So sexy. Like I think
you know what?
That my mom would be like,
you never know how that might hit, right?
Yeah.
Because like, what if somebody's like super into Christmas maybe? Or I don't know. Like,
I think maybe he thought she'd be like, oh, he
or like
works
maybe
with
it's
kids.
cute.
And,
yeah.
But we were both like,
that makes a lot more sense than being into Christmas. That's fair.
I'm so into Christmas. It's so hot.
Yeah.
Santa Nick. No. But I don't know. But both my mom and I were like, cool. Yeah. Have fun with that. What do you say? Like, oh,
no,
let's fuck.
You can't say much.
Let's fuck, Santa. You just spilled wine. All over your face. Gotcha.
I was trying to get it over the mic and it didn't work. Now it's everywhere.
What, you don't like fucking Santa?
It would have been so much cooler if I had like spat it out in like a comedic, you know what I mean? Like fucking Santa. No. Anyway. We should probably talk about the show.
Let's get into the episode. Before I start, though, this is kind of the same spiel we give every episode, but in case you're just tuning in for the first time, Fuck, Marry, Kill, we play the game based on 3 subjects we choose for each episode, and they'll be like book histories, or I did serial killers the first episode, and we'll choose which one we would fuck, which one we would marry, and which one we would kill. But none of this is to be taken on a serious level. Like we're just saying these in jest, as in the one we would fuck is one we would tolerate for one night. The one we would marry is the one that's the most tolerable, and then the one we would kill obviously is the least tolerable. So it's all.
It's just.
Go ahead.
It's a fun way to. It's a fun way to learn, and the game is just a ranking system.
Yeah. So it's meant to learn. And do you want to hear what my overall theme is for my episode today?
Yes.
Syndromes we don't want to have.
Ooh, like mental syndromes?
It's like a variation. I was going to do diseases, and then the more I researched, I'm like, all these ones that are like really bananas are syndromes. So
my God, I'm so excited. I love this stuff. Let's do it. I can't wait.
Yeah, but I'm just before I start though, we're not making fun of anyone with these syndromes.
Right. Yes.
I would feel awful for anyone with any of these, but I just picked the ones that are kind of in my brain the wildest scenarios. And also, before you choose which one you would fuck, marry, kill, I'm going to present these. I'll tell you what the treatments are for each, but I'm going to present these to you as if you had to have them for life, as if they were not treatable. Okay?
All right. Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right.
First one. Ready? Auto-Brewery Syndrome.
Please tell me it has to do with beer.
It's pretty close to what it sounds like. It's also known as gut fermentation syndrome.
Oh, no, that sounds a lot worse.
Your body becomes a brewery. So,
wait.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, explain.
So there's there's a fungus in your gut. It's a yeast that it's like an overgrowth of yeast in your stomach, and any carbs you eat turn into alcohol. So you are consistently drunk all the time. And some people present as consistently hungover all the time. So there's a chance that it's like not even drunk. You could just potentially be hungover all the time.
What?
Yep. So basically you're like a drunk mushroom.
Or a hungover mushroom.
Or a hungover mushroom, yeah.
Which is infinitely worse.
Yes. And so you're drunk without...
Not. You can't like drive a car and
What's
stuff.
that?
Yeah. Maybe it's not infinitely worse because you can't like drive a car and stuff like that, I guess,
right.
If you're drunk.
And I'll get into that. But
yeah. Okay, all right, yeah.
You're consistently drunk or hungover, and if you even drink like the slightest amount of alcohol, you are super drunk. So there's no like having fun, going out. And if you do, you're completely shit-faced. So, but it's also like cheap night when you want to go out and drink.
So like any carbs. So if don't eat bread, and if you're like you like have to be on a keto diet or something? Or
well, I'll talk about that too, because the body actually does need carbs, some sort of carbs. There's no carb situation really out there that's healthy. And I'll talk a little bit about that later too.
Okay.
So imagine like having a job interview with this syndrome.
Imagine having a job with this syndrome. Nightmare.
They can... So this is needless to say, but the symptoms are like just when you're drunk, you can get flushed, you could be moody, disoriented, nauseous, can't concentrate, memory issues, all the same things as if you were drunk, obviously. I think I'd prefer to feel drunk all the time rather than hungover all the time, right?
Yeah. No, like for sure. Even if I like had to not drive or anything, I'd like walk places or take the train, because feeling hungover is just such a horrible, shitty feeling.
But again, if you're hungover, you can potentially like not sound drunk when you're at work.
But like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I can function decently while drunk. So
don't admit to that.
Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't.
But yeah, you're right.
As I'm drinking both port wine and regular wine.
Yeah. Oh God. So I found this on an article on sfgate.com. It was Diane Tompkin wrote the article. She's a registered dietitian and a certified dietitian nutritionist. Apparently those are separate things. I know nothing. But carbs are a huge source of fuel for your body. So like your brain, your heart, your muscles, and nervous system all need fuel. Carbs are broken down into glucose, which is maintained in the bloodstream for an immediate source of fuel for whatever part of your body needs fuel. But your body does not need carbs all the time. And that's why these keto diets, Atkins, you can live while on them.
Sure. Yeah.
And those diets, they, instead of grabbing for carbs and fuel that way, it grabs for, let's see here, protein and fats. So the Atkins diet, the keto diets, that's when you're in ketosis. So your body is utilizing protein and fats instead of carbs to give your body fuel.
Okay, got it.
And without enough carbs, it can cause complications in your body. And it's increased mortality from your heart, your kidney, GI tract, and it can also cause certain types of cancer. So it's actually, your body does need this fuel. And if you go on these diets long term, there is research that says it's not great for you. So, you, at some point in your life, even with this syndrome, will have to consume some sort of carbs. And normal people probably would have carbs because not everybody's on these diets. And that causes you to have Auto-Brewery Syndrome because carbs are switching into alcohol.
How do they even find that, right? Because like I assume that the treatment is some sort of like really strong antifungal, but like how would if somebody's coming in and I would assume that it has something to do with their brain. You know what I mean? Like I would think it was like a neurological, which I guess, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything that said how they first discovered it. It's fairly rare. It's like not a very common syndrome, but you cannot be born with this. It is a developed syndrome.
It's a developed, yeah.
Some of the things that can cause it are poor nutrition, reactions to antibiotics, IBS, which is inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's disease, a lot of stomach issues, diabetes, and a low immune system. So all of those have the capability of producing too much yeast in our body from imbalances or whatever. Liver problems can also cause this to develop, which makes sense because drinking alcohol really makes your liver work overtime. Consistently having alcohol brewing in your stomach makes the liver work overtime. You're constantly, in fact, doing that. So it doesn't, it won't clear it out. It'll slowly start making the liver fail, which is awful. So you're probably experiencing the side effects of being an alcoholic and how their bodies slowly break down.
Yeah.
So it's pretty scary. Adults and children. Sorry, go ahead. Adults and children can have this syndrome. So there's little drunk children running around in society.
Aren't they all though?
They are. How do you tell the difference?
How do you tell the difference? But that's not, I literally like put down my glass of port when I was like listening to you say that, because that's really, really scary.
Yeah.
That would really suck. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, no one can be born with this syndrome. It is developed.
Right.
If you have stomach issues, yada, yada, yada. Here's the crazy part. A lot of the people that have this syndrome are accused of being closet drinkers. And like, it's hard to prove what you have unless you want to you get the diagnosis and you just want to show it to everybody, or, it's difficult in that way.
That sucks.
Yeah. And a lot of other people have discovered that this syndrome exists. And when they get caught drunk driving, will tell police or whatever that they have Auto-Brewery Syndrome and try to get out of it. Not condoning that at all, because I do believe you can prove whether or not you have it.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
And also don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Don't be a dickhead.
It's not worth it. Not worth it. That is so nuts.
Yeah. There is treatment. But this is not to be considered in your decisions, in your fuck, marry, kill decisions.
Yep.
There is treatment. And like you said, it's antifungal. You were very right about that. And probably common sense, but a low carb diet, like low to no carbs.
But like you just have to, I guess for the time being, right? At least until
I'm sure.
Okay.
Maybe they'll say like have carbs only on the weekend when you can be drunk or something. I don't know how they plan.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, right? Like if it's something like IBS or Crohn's, those are like chronic.
Yep.
Like they don't go away. So it's like you could probably treat with antifungals, but I mean, it'll likely come back if you're eating carbs or drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Like you probably have to be really restricted.
Yeah.
It's lifelong.
And I assume if you can cure the cause of the problem, this will be solved as well. There's probably more methods rather than just antifungals and low carb diets, but
totally. But I mean, but if you like, because a lot of the stuff you like, even diabetes, like you can't really, I guess you can get diabetes in control, but like you can't really
cure it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
At least with IBS and Crohn's, you can't really. That's messed up. If there's one thing I've learned from The Last of Us, fungus should
not be among us. I had to slip a little dad joke.
Yeah, 100. I loved it.
Sorry,
loved it. Nope, no need to be.
But I was actually
brilliant.
This is bad, but I was trying to think of like scenarios where you would not want this syndrome.
You were trying to think of scenarios where you wouldn't want this syndrome? Or that you would want it?
No, where you wouldn't want this. We can also think of ones where you would want it.
All the scenarios. I would not want I would never want this scenario.
Sometimes you want to be drunk. Sometimes you want to be drunk and you don't want to spend a lot of money.
Oh, because All right. I was just thinking, I want to be drunk through my own volition.
Somewhere to be drunk in the worst case scenario. Like,
got it. Oh gosh. In a foreign country, probably.
Yeah. A funeral.
But shouldn't you get kind of drunk at a funeral?
Yeah,
I feel like funerals are places to.
But but uncontrollable
just
drunk.
So begrieved.
Uncontrollable.
Not uncontrollable. You don't want to be sloppy drunk.
Right, and you don't know what you're going to present as.
You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think any job scenario, like if you have a big meeting or something, that is just like, how do you function?
Yeah.
How can you? Wow.
And you really are impaired all the time. It's not like just this fake drunk that you are. You're actually drunk. So this makes it very dangerous for this person. Okay. So that was syndrome number 1. Auto-Brewery Syndrome. Next one. I don't know if you're ready for this. Take another drink.
Boy.
It is...
I just downed my port, so...
It is persistent sexual arousal syndrome. Yeah.
That's a real syndrome?
It's a real syndrome. It's very interesting. So I'll probably refer to this as PSAS as we go on because it's a long name. PSAS.
Pizzazz?
Persistent Sexual Arousal Syndrome. PSAS.
But yeah, PSAS sounds less
okay, we'll call it PSAS. I don't know if that's a thing, but...
PSAS?
Yeah. Sometimes, just full disclosure, it was also referred to as a disorder. So syndrome disorder.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With this syndrome or disorder, you perpetually live on the brink of an orgasm. On the brink.
Doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah. You
really
are able to orgasm when you have this syndrome. It's not like you're only on the brink and you can't take care of it. Yeah. But even when you orgasm, even multiple times, it doesn't take care of it. You don't feel better after. You're right back to being on the brink of an orgasm. Isn't that nuts?
Ooh. It is nuts. And it also opens my mind up to so many questions about sexual addiction and is this an underdiagnosed thing? Or
I will talk about that because I read some medical journals that differentiated this. And here's the also weird part. It mainly only affects women.
What?
Yeah. So it's
I did not expect that. That was right out of left field. Yeah, I didn't know
mostly
that.
women. It's too much of a good thing scenario happening, and it makes you anxious, and you start to go nuts from it. I got a lot of my information from the National Library of Medicine, the government website for it. Mm-hmm. And here's where the differentiation between hypersexuality comes in. It's confused with hypersexuality or sex addiction, but it's not, because hypersexuality is a persisting desire. You want to have sex, you want to hook up with many people, whereas PSAS is persistent genital arousal. It's a chemical.
It's just that feeling.
Yes, even in the absence of desire. So hypersexuality is just the desire. And it can probably be coupled with the chemical sensations, but this is only the genital arousal sensations. Even if you're not feeling it or you're not in the mood or whatever, you're just constantly
damn. Yeah. That sounds way worse. I mean, I guess they both are, they both have terrible sides to it, but man, that's really interesting. But that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty important difference. Yeah.
And it is a super rare disorder syndrome, and it comes with, because it's so rare, it comes with a lot of worry and misunderstanding because you can't connect with many other people that have this. And there's not a whole lot of research on it because of the fact that there's so few people with it. The symptoms of sensitivity that come with persistent sexual arousal syndrome, it's called vasocongestion. And I looked it up. It's short for vascular congestion. And it's the swelling of bodily tissues and localized increased blood pressure, which makes sense. That's what happens when you're aroused and you're, you're excited.
Shit.
So basically it's like a permanent lady boner all the time.
I wonder if that does that have like issues with people's hearts and stuff?
Probably. I didn't do a whole lot of research, but I can only imagine it does.
Yeah, right.
Because it does involve blood flow and everything. The symptoms can come on suddenly. They're not. So I actually probably misrepresented this. It can last anywhere from hours to days. It's not like every day, all the time you have it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it depends patient to patient. Some people can have it all the time. I read like even vibrations from driving a car can spur it on, or like the material of your clothing. If if you sit down and it hits you just right, starts happening. You can, and orgasming doesn't help. Causes a lot of distress, as I said before. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Sounds horrible. Also, it takes the excitement away from sex. Like,
I was just about to say, it's like, I wonder how that is for people's relationships, because it's like, if it just becomes this compulsion because it's like, I just need to concentrate for at least, I don't know, like something. Yeah. And then, that sounds like it would be really, really tough.
Yeah.
To form intimate relationships. Yeah.
I did read some case studies where people were happily married and they just kind of dealt with it, because it's not necessarily that you do want to have sex all the time. It's just you have this feeling and it doesn't go away, but it doesn't make you like forcefully make the other person have sex, or like, you're not totally, you're not horny. Just like I said before, the differentiation is there's a lack of desire sometimes with this.
Well, no, I would actually think that it might do the opposite, right? If it like becomes more of like this physical need to just like, you have to, because you're like physically feeling it, but it's not the mental desire. Like if you're in a relationship, I wonder what that does to your sex life, because you're just kind of like, it's this thing that seems more like a chore. I don't know. I don't know.
And again, it's so rare. I couldn't find a whole lot of like case studies on it. There were a couple that I read, but so this is such a rare syndrome that no one knows the cause to it. There's not like a causation phenomenon or anything like that. On the National Library of Medicine site, things like increased soy intake, certain medicines like external medicines that people were taking, and Tarlov cysts were found to be possible causes of it. Tarlov cysts are cysts like fluid-filled sacs found at the bottom of the spine, and they can cause weakness, numbness, or loss of control on the lower half of the body, which is very fitting with the syndrome because you cannot control it. Also neurological damage. I think you called that out earlier. Medication changes, menopause, physical inactivity. All those have been implicated as causal. But again, there's not like one size fits all cause to this. There was a long list of possibilities that did not narrow down where this comes from at all. And then I also on this one, I was trying to think of the worst scenarios. This isn't just still, I feel horrible for anyone that would have this, but I was like, where wouldn't I want to have a lady boner?
In church,
funeral,
funeral is kind of a carte blanche.
Here's the stupidest one I thought of. I like comedy, guys, just so you know. Love comedy. What if like an earthquake hit and it vibrated and you're like, yeah.
I can't evacuate right now. I gotta go take care of something real quick. Oh no.
That's inaccurate. You don't get horny from it, but like if you start feeling it during an earthquake, you're like,
it just goes nuts. All of those are, I mean, it's all bad.
It's all bad.
It's all bad.
Again, all in jest. Don't wish this on my worst enemy.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
And now we'll go to the treatment part, which you're not allowed to consider in your decision.
Mm-hmm. Swipe.
Yep. There's no cure.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. All doctors.
Right. But I can't consider that in my decision though. That there's no cure.
No, either way, we have to be fair about each. So regardless of treatment.
Enough. Okay.
There's no cure, but doctors can do things to treat the symptoms of it, like helping your they prescribe antidepressants because obviously it's like that will fuck with your head. Always feeling that way. Sure. You have to feel so isolated, and I don't know.
And also I think especially since it's mostly women, even like the societal like guilt that surrounds like female pleasure in general. And it's like,
it's taboo.
I think
still.
that totally.
One patient in a case study that I read about did go into remission using duloxetine, which is Cymbalta. Like the brand name is Cymbalta usually. And that's an antidepressant, but it also did not work for other patients that also were suffering for this. So it's not a cure for all of the cases.
By the way, when you said Cymbalta, I just remembered one of our previous discussions about ads, like pharmaceutical ads. Cymbalta's a big one that always comes on.
Cymbalta?
It's like, yeah. It's like all these happy people, and then it's like side effects include
death.
And then it just goes into like like all I know they have to say it, but it's just so funny.
You'll be happy, but you'll die.
But you might.
But you die happy.
But you might die. Yeah, there you go. Take it.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. Yeah.
All right. So that was syndrome number 2. So we've had Auto-Brewery Syndrome, where your gut just constantly makes alcohol. Persistent Sexual Arousal Syndrome, where you always have mainly a lady boner, mostly happens to ladies. And now, number 3, Alien Hand Syndrome. Your face says it all.
What?
Yep. So this is a neurological syndrome. It causes a person's hand to act on its own free will. There's also
like
a case.
Idle hands make the devil work. Have you seen that movie? Have you seen the movie? You know the phrase, right?
I've heard that before, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a famous phrase, right? But like, they made a movie. I don't remember the name. It was like, you would love it.
Oh
Britt.
no, because it's funny,
over the top. Yeah, it's like a dark horror comedy thing.
All right, that's what I'm doing after this.
I'll find the name.
I'm eating a bunch of carbs and watching this movie.
And then masturbating.
Yep.
Just to take the edge off. Oh man, yeah.
Just trying out all the syndromes,
Mm-hmm.
So there's also, I did find a very few amount of cases where people's legs were affected, but it's the huge majority is people's hands getting affected by this syndrome. It only affects one limb. Always.
Interesting.
There were no cases where both were affected. Another name for this is Dr. Strangelove syndrome or anarchic hand syndrome.
What is the last one?
Anarchic? Like anarchy hand?
Oh, okay. It's just like, nope.
Yeah.
Damn
rebelling
man.
Hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I guess in Dr. Strangelove, it's a movie by Stanley Kubrick, who I love.
Yeah.
And one of his characters has alien hand syndrome in the movie.
Oh, so I've actually never seen it. Because you know what I mean? It's like one of those great movies, but like I don't know, you have seen it, but I've heard a lot about it, but I'm going to go watch it now.
We have some movie assignments after this episode.
Yeah, 100%.
The syndrome was first reported in 1909, and I got a lot of this information from healthline.com. So the syndrome can be, because it's a neurological disorder, it can be caused by strokes, aneurysms, brain surgeries, specifically surgeries that separate the two hemispheres of the brain, like work on one side of the brain. And a lot of people with the variants of Parkinson's disease will present with this. So the people with this syndrome will have isolated activities in one part of the brain. So like, how if you're right-handed, your left brain is stronger. And if you're left-handed, vice versa. I'm a lefty.
Well, yeah, Alex is a lefty too. Alex is the first lefty in our family.
Ooh, you gotta have a lefty. Yeah. We're the creative ones.
Gotta have a lefty. Oh yeah, for sure.
So some people, they have isolated activities in the part of the brain that affects their motor skills, motor work in their hands and their limbs, anything, in all their movements. And it usually affects the non-dominant hand. which I didn't really see why, but it's more commonly, since more people are right-handed, it affects left hands for people. And some examples that I read are people will just randomly touch their face, or they will perform actual tasks like buttoning their shirt, but they're not trying to button their shirt. So they're just like doing it. And then I also read people will repeatedly pick up and throw objects. And also some cases have said that like the hand will harm somebody, like they've choked themselves.
No.
And yeah, it's actually, you cannot control this hand. It just has a mind of its own.
That's nuts.
Yeah, there have been cases where they've tried to choke themselves. Isn't that terrifying? And you have no control over it. The only you do have control over your other hand, though. So I imagine like it's still,
you can pull it away, but
unless that hand's really strong.
Sleeping? What if you're sleeping?
I don't know. And a lot of people don't even believe that the hand is theirs. In their mind, they don't think that hand belongs to them. So there's some weird neurological thing happening, which is, can you imagine just being like, that's not my hand?
Would you cut it off?
Oh, this is getting into Saw.
It is getting into
very
Saw.
horror movie.
I wouldn't. I would like hope that it like does my buttons and doesn't strangle me. I would just like
here's
cross
hoping.
my fingers. You know what I mean?
I think cutting it off is extreme. Maybe like tie it down or something.
You
went straight for the horror film solution. You would.
There were a lot of steps in between there. Yep. Yeah.
Would you cut it off?
Makes so much.
You're dark. You are dark.
Got real dark.
Okay. So, alien hand syndrome. Treatment. Again, not involving this in our decisions. Also, no cure for this one. There's no cure. There's a lot of cognitive therapy that helps, though, and visuospatial coaching, which, I guess just tries to make you more aware of what the hand is doing mentally. Restraining the hand by making it hold an object helped some people, just like putting an object in there. I imagine just restraining the hand, like I said before, would help too. And weirdly, a lot of people have had help with Botox, because Botox stops your muscles from working, right? It's we normally know it as like cosmetic Botox, but it actually does relax your muscles. People take it for migraines to stop tension headaches. And so it can be used for muscle control in your hand.
So this is going to sound really bad, but the first thing that came to my mind when like you said that, this is terrible. And again, if somebody has this like, this is just
would not wish this on our worst enemy, and we have
not even a little
for you.
But it's like I just imagine somebody being like, "Well, fuck that arm at the gym," over like time, and just having like a totally different, like just this like really tiny arm, and it's like why don't you work at the other one? It's like, well, you never know what it could do.
Wait, you're saying like the hand that's not affected by it, just pump it up so it's huge and muscular?
Yeah. So you can defend it.
Keep that one weak. But what if the hand syndrome makes you work out? What if
you're like sleeping and it just
uncontrollably like lifting weights?
It pulls you out of bed and just drags you to and then just starts.
You have a fight with your hands. You're just punching each other with your own hands. Oh God! Oh no! We went on a big tangent there.
Yep.
Ugh. What are other scenarios?
I mean, driving is obviously.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel like for all of these,
right.
Driving is just.
I wonder
terrifying.
if people with this are allowed to drive.
First and third. Yeah, I don't know. Right. I mean, I feel like it's not one of those things you probably would need to like register on your. Or would you? I don't know. Maybe you would actually.
I don't know. It kind of calls back the Auto-Brewery one too. I wonder if they're allowed to drive because drunk driving.
I mean, what do you say if you get pulled over? Like my hand made me do it. That's tough.
I do all the time.
That's a tough one. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's why
it's just my hand.
Pump too much iron in that one.
Yeah. This one went to the gym way too much. Yeah. Yeah.
I just keep thinking of It on
super interesting.
on the Addams Family. It.
Oh, totally. That's what I thought of the moment you started telling this particular one.
What if your hand's so strong that you can like ride on it? Like it just walks on the ground for you and you just sit on your
How would you even do that? You like turn yourself over?
I don't know, but it's so strong.
Like
it's not your hand.
Yeah.
You just take rides to the grocery store on your hand.
Oh, man. Can you imagine just seeing that?
No,
like somebody just perched up.
I would not want to see that.
Oh, boy. No, I wouldn't.
All right.
I bet it doesn't. Yeah, we should probably. Anyway.
So, okay. So we're not considering treatments. And also, to keep this apples to apples, I'm going to say that all three of these, you experience the symptoms all the time, right?
Okay.
So consistent symptoms. Even though there's possibilities on each of these that you don't experience it all the time. We're just going to do that to keep the comparison level. So between Auto-Brewery Syndrome, where you're always either drunk or hungover, persistent Sexual Arousal Syndrome, where you always have a lady boner, and Alien Hand Syndrome, where you cannot control one of your hands, which one would you fuck, which one would you marry, and which one would you kill?
So I already know kill. No, take that back. I already know marry.
Okay.
The hand one, the alien.
You would marry that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I could talk it down. And if not, there's always a little bit of excitement.
You also
might
murder someone.
You might, but I would have to be in the proximity where like the hand really wants to murder someone. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like that would be kind of exciting, but you're not in physical discomfort all the time. And like, who knows if it can be proactive, then I could be like doing stuff like folding laundry or something that, I don't know. It just seems the least bad, even though it sounds really, really scary, of course, if like it does do harm and things. I'd marry that one. All right. So kill.
These are tough.
This is really tough because, all right. So do I get to choose if I'm drunk or hungover?
Let's say drunk.
Okay. I probably fuck drunk.
You probably do.
Oh, wow. Damn.
She didn't mean to say that.
As she lets slip out. Listen, I'm a respectable married woman now, so and
so you'd fuck Auto-Brewery Syndrome?
Yeah, okay. I think I would. I think I would have to. I'm still like debating in my mind, but I think the thing is, and then I would kill this because I feel like the physical component really gets me. Like that would just be so frustrating to be on the brink all the time, like, and not like to solve it for a second and then it comes back, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
that sounds a lot more physically uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and like I could do to cut down on carbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's also hard to
COVID weight's still hanging around, so
yeah, it's also hard to compare these because you don't know how drunk you would be or how sexually aroused you would be or how much your hand is acting up. So it's a little hard because you're like, well, I can hope for the best, but
right, you don't know how. And I honestly, like, it's hard for me to fathom to being on the brink like that much and not knowing where it would go. It's hard for me to fathom the idea of being drunk all the time. Mm-hmm. It's like it's hard for me to fathom my hand doing something that's not in my control. So it's hard to like really nail it down. But man, my heart goes out to anybody who has to deal with this because that sounds terrible. Yeah.
Oh my God, I just got an email that said I'm a member of the Academy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm submitting my episode.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah.
Britt,
so I can say I'm a member of the Academy, for you. Fellow members of the Academy. I probably won't win.
So when people say
I'm just a member that can vote now.
No, but still, that's when people say thank you to the Academy. Yeah. You're one of the people they're thanking.
Yeah.
You literally get thanks after thanks after thanks. Brittany,
I'm like an adult now.
Listen, and I don't know, because you're doing the editing on these episodes, so I don't know what you're going to include or not, but I will just say that you've been working on this since before I met you. Like, this has been your dream. Brittany would drive to Chicago for extra roles throughout college, like on the weekends, like late at night, come back late at night. You know what I mean? Or
I forgot after classes.
Yeah. Like, I remember you would. It was just like, that was the goal, that was the dream, and you worked so hard, and I'm so happy for you, and you should be so proud of yourself.
Thanks, Dave. And you're gonna make me cry.
No, but I mean, honestly, like, it's fuck yeah,
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Thanks for being proud of me. I'm proud of you too. Congratulations. Never forget that.
But like, this is great. This is like, you never gave up, and you never should give up, and now you have all the more reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome.
So thanks, David.
That's amazing.
Sweet. Thank you.
What a great email to get.
I just got amazing. I just got you know how like on Macs the email shoots in through the side of your, like, the notifications fly in.
Yeah.
And it said Television Academy, and I was like, what? So I'm in,
this
baby.
Is so excited. This is so exciting. Is this for can you talk about what it's for? Or no?
Oh, it's the one that you... So I am now eligible to submit my episode of Southside on HBO Max for an Emmy.
And that one got like amazing ratings too, right?
Yeah, I got pretty good ratings. I was very happy with it. And my showrunner was actually like, please submit your episode, please. And so
that's amazing.
I won't let myself get excited about it, because that would, never know.
You should let yourself get excited about being part of the Academy.
Oh yeah. So I am.
That's amazing.
I'm tremendously excited. So you don't have to be a member of the Academy to submit yourself. But I of course wanted to be a member. Like, I have the chance, so why not? So yeah. Now I can vote on the other categories. Whereas if I just submitted myself, it would just be submitting myself and hoping the members like me or like my episode.
Yeah.
Not me. So yeah.
And you.
Cool.
Yay. Yeah.
Sorry for the sidebar.
No, this is what a fantastic way to end an episode. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped.
Thanks. So before we quit though, I have to choose my other two. So I think I would.
Yeah, you do.
I think that I agree with you on alien hand syndrome, right? Because there's no treatment, but you can strap that baby down. You can strap that baby down.
You can strap it or chop it off.
Right. Or saw it off.
Or saw it right off.
So the little puppet comes rolling on its tricycle toward you.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Okay. And it's hard. The alcohol, the Auto-Brewery, and the persistent sexual arousal syndrome. Those are hard. Those are both awful. So it's hard because the alcohol one you can't hide, and it definitely would affect your psyche being drunk all the time, and you would probably lose knowing who you are as a sober person, right?
Yeah.
But the other one, you can hide better, because it's not like women can hide when they're turned on, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we have an actual boner that we have to shove back in our pants or anything, and you're not like, when you're turned on, right? Yeah. So you can hide this one, but it also will definitely affect your psyche. You won't know how to feel normal, and it can probably affect your sex life. So I think it's a choice of whether you're able to hide how drunk you are well, or if you're okay just having a weird sex life that never satisfies you. So I think I may side with you though, because the Auto-Brewery, I think I would go nuts having a lady boner all the time that you can't get rid of.
So frustrating.
Whereas alcohol, I know myself on alcohol, and I'm kind of fun. I'm pretty fun.
Exactly. You just picked the right career for it.
And I did.
You gotta you know what I mean? Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm not drunk at work. Don't say that about me. But yeah. So I feel like every episode we're siding with each other on the same choices.
We've agreed so far, totally. But I mean, I think that we're just really smart, logical people. So there you go.
Aren't we though?
Yeah. We nail it.
2 out of 2.
We're right.
So yeah.
Just showcases absolute truth when we agree.
Yes.
So
we're going to go watch Dr. Strangelove and Saw. And what's the other one you said? Where the guy can't control his hand. It's like a horror film.
Oh my God. All right. So can I just look it up because I don't remember the name of it. Idle Hands movie. Yeah, it's called Idle Hands. Yeah. It's
Idle
1999.
Hands.
It's called.
Is it like an 80s movie or 90s?
It's 1999.
Yeah.
It got 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sure did. Yeah, sure did. I believe that.
You have to watch it. You got to watch it. It got 6.2 on IMDb.
Okay. Well, that's it for episode 3 of the Fuck, Marry, Kill podcast. We hope you enjoyed. And please, please, please send us your suggestions of what we should fuck, marry, or kill for future episodes. We love to hear your ideas. Thanks for
listening.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Bye, guys.